Happy Friday, boys and girls. My name is Jeffery Scott Mitchell, and I'm coming to you live on Memorex from an undisclosed location, alternate weekend route, what I call the dicey route. A little bit more, I don't want to say poverty, a little bit less underdeveloped, a little bit more underdeveloped. You see a few more unhoused people who make the walk lively at times, get your adrenaline up. Not that I'm scared or anything, but it keeps you alert and on guard to remind you to be aware of your surroundings, that's all. And that kind of spices up the walk. But anyway, I know I said this plenty of times before, many times before, but people are different. And thank God we have different kinds of people. Because basically I'm thinking, if everybody was like me, life probably would not succeed. Life probably would not have succeeded. I'm selfish, I'm self-first, I have minimal compassion, though I may be sensitive to things and other people and causes or whatever. I may not be sympathetic to them. And we need people like this. We need people like that just as much as we need compassionate people who are willing and almost looking forward to doing things for others. One of the kind of strangest or weirdest things to me was when I started meeting people and getting close to them and starting to understand that somebody can go through life without a sense of themselves. I just couldn't understand that. And then as I got older, I noticed how that kind of disposition fits in well, maybe to put it bluntly, with somebody like me. Somebody who's almost built to serve, not serve, but to accommodate. Serve is not the word. Serve is definitely not the word. But there are some people out there who are probably built to serve. Almost, and I don't want to say submissive or subservient. There's some people probably, I'm sure, who are 100% comfortable being not dominated, but dominated. No, just have somebody that's taking control of their life, you know. And it's people probably built and wired like that. Because I think I'm just thinking about my relationship that I refer to as number 4, with that being the quote unquote 4th time I was in love with somebody on record. It just amazed me how accommodating and how she had ideas and was creative and, you know, was a full person and had that drive to, you know, maybe do something and create stuff. But underlying, you know, it was always about serving her man. And even though we were never really boyfriend and girlfriend, technically and officially, we did everything and more in regards to that. I mean, we had a better relationship than most married couples, I'm sure. There's no doubt about that. Would you call it an open relationship? I mean, it definitely was an open relationship because we wasn't boyfriend and girlfriend, so you can't really call it a relationship. How can you call it open if we wasn't committed? You know, we were just, I don't know how you want to put it, but anyway. But we shared everything 100%. Best friend I've ever had, if I had one of those. She passed away, diabetes, complication of diabetes and health issues a few years ago. We had kept in contact via chat. We was always chat people anyway. We didn't have to be in the same room. So we was always chatting, messenger people. In fact, I met her in an AOL chat room. I think I met Black. I think they had a black one called Black something. It might have been a black chat room. I met her in a black. Probably different was a black one because she was always about that blackness. So I met her. We met, and the rest is history. But she had her personality. It took me a while to understand or to appreciate. Appreciate is the word. To appreciate people like that. Like messy people. Like my daughter, messy. How can you open up a pack of fish sticks and just leave the wrapper sitting on the counter? My instinct won't even allow me to do that. How can you? And one thing about my daughter, she owns it. She owns that she messy, and she know. And I think she kind of like me, where she went out and got her own, set up her own. So there's a level of independence where she in her own house paying her own bills and can't nobody say nothing to her. To the most part, but she's still, you know, a mother and a daughter, and got, you know, need help from the village. But, you know, the way she handles that, I would say is in line in a way that I would handle it. Business-wise, practical, you know, this, that, straight talk. Almost some people might even consider it harsh, or just strict and blunt, straight across, boom, boom, boom. But I'm looking at her, and I can see say the kitchen is fairly clean, you know, because I go ahead and I put stuff up or whatever. Or she does this, you know, so say the kitchen's fairly clean. She coming in the morning at 6:30. You know, I'm still basically asleep, so I don't hear too much going on. Then I get up and go in the kitchen, you know, after she come in at 6:30, do whatever she's doing in there. And she go to bed, and I get up and go for my walk. And I'm like, how did all this happen in the kitchen? It'd be like open wrappers, open empty wrappers just laying there. I mean, how can you do that? How can you not put it where it belongs? How can you, and some people are like, how can you see this and not react? And then she pointed out to me, there's things that she's sensitive to that, you know, not triggers her, but gets her attention. And I was like, oh, okay, I see now. You know, that gave me another insight into it. You know, there's things that bug her, you know, that flash bright on her radar that may or not on mine, and vice versa. And the whole point of this, again, is for me to appreciate, you know, just how different people can be and how different we need people to be. Diversity. And we also have youth, people who are young and still learning, or still learning implies that they're on their way to me, learning may imply that they're on their way to a certain knowledge, to like a certain place and a certain kind of knowledge or a certain learning to be able to pass a certain test or something. Let's just say experience. I would just like to leave it open and say, get more and more experience. Like, the Cleveland Brown fan was telling me about how, you know, he went to a store and he gave a lady, I think it was $16 was the charge, so he gave her 26 or something like that. You know, where you pay the extra $5 so you get a whole dollar bill back. I mean, you get a $5 bill back instead of a one, instead of 4 ones. So it might have been $6. So he gave her 11 to get 5 back. And he was kind of stuck on the fact the girl couldn't handle it. You know, and he thought it was, you know, it's probably because she was so used to having the cash register or the computer ring it up for her. And I was like, yeah. And I guess the concept may have hit her at the wrong time, at the right time, at the wrong moment, whatever. And she just couldn't put the two together or figure it out at that moment. And then also, to go too far into this, I also think about people, you never know what's going on in their life. You never know what else is on her mind. She could be worried about her kids or her mother, or just be worried about something, and her brain just might not be clicking. That's not her focus right now to figure something like that out. And it could just probably just, you know, trip her up a little bit because she's distracted by something more important in her life. That's another part of this. But I was just telling them, yeah, man, they gotta learn. They just gotta learn. I mean, we were all young ones too. We were all always probably that person. And I try to remember that. Now, granted, at a certain age, I wasn't doing things that certain other people were doing at an older age. And that's because of my experience and what I was exposed to and how I was raised. I had certain advantages. I guess advantages is relative. Advantages implies that there's a goal. When I say that, advantages implies that you had some extra credit or extra help, or made it easier for you to get to a certain place. Advantages implies there's a goal, if you ask me. A lot of these words I'm using, I'm just realizing, imply that there's a place you're supposed to get to. You're supposed to get to, like, that's why I never use the word mature. I really try not to use the word mature, because I never wanted to be mature. Never, ever. Even when I was young. Acting a fool was my thing. And acting a fool was my father's number one not to do thing. In fact, he was anti-act a fool. He was, you know, keep it low, you know, distinguish, carry yourself well. You know, you can still have fun and do this and do that. But it's always about integrity and pride and how he carried himself and how he was seen and how he was interpreted. Me, I'm like, when I saw that Parliament, when that Parliament came out, when I heard that Mothership Connection, when I went home, because it was just an 8-track tape, a blue label with black print on it. There was no picture, no nothing. So I went home and listened to the music. I fell in love with the music, studied it, and then it wasn't until a while till I actually saw the real album cover. And I was like, oh man, these people. But I kind of got the essence of what what it was like from the music. So the costumes and stuff just kind of fit. And then that was me. That was me, and it was cool to be that. Parliament P-Funk made it cool to be that. And that's who I was known as. And that's what I wanted to, that's what I represented. That was not my role model, but maybe archetype. I don't know what the word is, but that was me. High school. Ever since high school. I got older a little bit and it's changed a little bit. But not sure why I went down that road. No integrity, acting a fool, my father. But anyway, back to the matter, I guess. It really is, it takes all kinds. It really does take all kinds. And thank God, I tell people, thank God there are people like you. No, I really appreciate that there are people like you, and I thank God I'm not one of them. And I mean that, because we need all kinds. We really do need all kinds. Today's a big day in our family. Well, not a big day. Oh, another thing, I guess I could segue it this way. Also, I was thinking, you know how there are some people say, oh, I'll never put my parents in a home, a nursing home, or a home, or anything like that. I'll never put my parents in a nursing home. And I find that admirable, and I respect it, but I also respect somebody who understands that that job may be too big for them, and that they'll go ahead and make that decision to put their parents in a nursing home, because going through what I'm going through with my mother, it's a whole other thing. It's just amazing how much, it's like, I mean, you know, I talk about granddaughter. I talk about having to take care of granddaughter. And you know how I feel about, having to give up my attention to other people. It's the same. You gotta be ready to sacrifice your attention and your energy and your time. And sacrifice, I guess that's the word sacrifice. I guess that's the word sacrifice. People who are able to sacrifice. And I ain't talking about just, oh, okay, I'll pick you up on my way there and I'll be 15 minutes late. I'll be 15, 20 minutes late from getting there grotesquely early. That ain't well, that is a sacrifice, but that ain't the kind of sacrifice I'm talking about. And talk about objectivism and probably existentialism, if I'm saying that right. Sacrifice is something that makes you compromise your values. I think especially in Ayn Rand's objectivism, sacrifice is something that makes you compromise your values. Not like giving up, losing some money or sacrifice this or that. It has to be something, I think it could be like if it's a lot of money, but sacrifice means your integrity or something deeply, you know, in your soul, something you give up. Oh, now 906, oh, look at that. As soon as I cross the street, it's time to turn around. Y'all see that? Hear it going off? As soon as I cross the street, it's time to, that's why I don't like crossing these big streets. That's why I don't like crossing these big streets, because you gotta wait for the light to cross back. And usually what I do is I walk while the light is going and try to get steps in that way. You know, just try to keep moving. Because it's gonna be like 15, 20 minutes. I mean, not 15, it's gonna be like, see, now I gotta wait for this to go, then it's gonna go that way, and it's gonna be, you know. So I just try to keep moving. Anyway, so to sacrifice your integrity or your pride is what, you know, to give up something like that is what they talk about with sacrifice. Not just, oh, you know, I gave him my one of my game pieces or something. I gave up one of my Nintendo games or something. No, that's not really sacrifice. So that's a lot. That's a lot. People, there are people who can readily sacrifice and easily sacrifice, whereas I have a deep issue. I even have a problem, or what's it called, not fetish. What's the word when you just be like, you know, all crazy or whatever about it? She coming too. I gotta get back. See, that's what I'm talking about, it being dicey out here. That's what I'm talking about, it's being dicey out here. Somebody wanted to have a little bit of fun. It's too early. I gotta get back. I got obligations. Speaking of which, today is a big day for my family. It's my mother goes into temporary, I think it's called respite care, respite for a month. She's gonna go into a facility. She's gonna go into a facility. I wanted to see if they was following me. Yeah. So that we can get a break, all of us, because it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of time, even with the money. It's a lot, especially, and it may just be the way my mother is, my mother's personality, but it's demanding, and it's not only hard to watch, to see somebody just basically deteriorate like this, but to have to support them. And like there's times where she's in pain and there's nothing you can do. And she really, you know, can't tell you what's wrong or what to do. And is, you know, almost 100% dependent on other people for just about everything. So they need like 24-hour attention. And I'm talking about to the point where if she dropped the remote, she called me. It was to the point where, can you put this on TV for me? Her hands are bad, so like, call you downstairs out of bed, change the channel for me. I'm like, whoa. I was just thinking about that encounter. Like these things like that happen out here. Things like that happen out here. And I'm used to them. In fact, I've been known to play a little bit with them. Have some fun. Some of them are nice, you know. Some of these people are nice and it's fun and, you know, you get something out of it. You just gotta be watching. Be on guard and be ready. So, she'll go into the facility today for a month, and it's about $8,000 a month. It's gonna be split between me and my sister. And it really is to the point, it really, really is to the point where I'm like, I'll pay anything. I'll pay anything not to have to do this, to have somebody else do this for me, to outsource this care. You know, I'll stop by, be there, visit. But even then, say like, she have a whole team. She can have a whole team of people, a whole facility dedicated to her, everything. Blah, 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 blah. As soon as I get there, she gonna have me do something. I'm like, don't you got a nurse to do that? I'm paying somebody a lot of money to do that. But still it'd be, and it's kinda, she want me to do it, and it's kinda something else, maybe just easier for her to ask me or this or that. But no, I'm paying $4,000 a month for somebody to do that. And I'm gonna have to come in here and do it for you? No, don't get used to that. Don't get used to that. Of course, it's only for a month, but we got to start looking at the long-term care because it's too much. It's too much for all of us. And I don't blame her. I really don't blame her. In fact, she's just been a trooper through this. Considering what she's going through, I might have said this before, but I really mean it. She's really been a trooper. Really been, her spirits stay pretty, you know, considering up, you know, good-spirited. But it's a lot. And for her to get, it's like even with granddaughter, for granddaughter to be satisfied and to be properly stimulated to match the the level of stimulation that she desires or needs or wants, we can't give it to her. We too old. And we don't vibrate at that level. We're not at that frequency. We don't have that speed, that kind of energy. So for her to get that, you gotta outsource that. Usually at school or daycare or something. Kindergarten, preschool, whatever. And probably the same with my mother. And maybe even having a third party. Having a third party, I keep thinking about that encounter. It usually don't go down like that, but that was kind of obvious. It was like, hey, I didn't even say hey, like I'm talking about maybe 30, 40, 50 yards away. A simple head nod, and here she come. Like, no. But anyhow, yeah, I mean, to really support her, you know, it takes this lady, and I say it affectionately, but it's a lot. It is a lot. She wearing us all out. In fact, we all are all worn out. And I don't do it that much. My sister is there like all the time, and my sister is like a different person than I am, so she's like really sensitive to certain things. Like super sensitive, where it just overwhelms her. You know, ain't too much gonna overwhelm me at all. You know, she'll get overwhelmed by some things that I consider, you know, simple. That's just how she's wired. Trying to catch my breath. I guess it might be early. We're smoking them Black and Miles. I'm walking hard. Because I want to get back and get in and out of one of the bathrooms before they get here to get my mother ready to go to respite care. She's gonna go to the facility today. Transport's supposed to pick her up at 11. My sister and them supposed to get here at 10. And I want to like get in there and get out at the bathroom just in case before they even get there, to keep myself out of the mix. But I think I'm pushing it. I'll probably get this. She said about 10. She may be late, because she usually is when it comes to this stuff. And you know, I just want to get in there and get a shower, get my stuff. I don't even got to pack up or nothing, even though I could be packed up and ready to go. You take her to medical transport's gonna come, transfer her to medical transport's gonna come. It's gonna transfer her to the place. You know, then we'll be with her, get her settled in, meet the people, meet the staff, all that. And then, somewhere along the line, $4,000 come out of me and my sister's pocket, each. And at first it hurts, that kind of money, because I'm not used to dealing those kind of numbers, even though I have very much so in the past, very much so recently. Still hurts. I'm talking about that kind of money. But if my mother, if I could talk myself into believing this is the best thing for her, whether it is or if it ain't, if I could believe, and I truly do, that I can't provide the service that she requires or deserves, and I definitely truly believe that, this is the thing. And I guess they go to like a nursing home long term. You know, the price is a little bit reduced, but you're still talking $3,000 a month. You're talking $3,000 a month. You know, so I may look into something now to have a nest egg, maybe some kind of insurance or some kind of whatever you buy or start to purchase to help you cover something like that. Because you're gonna need service. You're gonna need service. I mean, coverage or caregiving, you're gonna need assistance at some point. So that's what we're doing today. And I only been out here for 3 days. Some people have been doing this for months. My sister been doing this for years. She did it for my father too. So that's what I'm saying about people being different. I don't know. Well, I kind of do know that I probably couldn't do it. I mean, there's probably no doubt about that, people. Let's just keep it real. You know, doggone well, you probably wouldn't be able to do it. So that's what we're doing today. And then, after that, I go home, I'll settle, I'll think about this for a little while, what has happened and her, and you know, what I need to do going forward, and try to understand and digest that situation. And tomorrow's LA Maggots, so I'll go out there for a couple hours. And then Sunday is Game 7 NBA. Monday I meet with my financial advisor. Just a little something, you know. And back to work Wednesday. So I gotta get myself together. You know, I gotta get myself together. And I'm happy about that. I'm excited about that. I'm excited I have to get myself together. Have to get back into it, get back into the grind. You know, get back on that treadmill, get back to, and I woke up this morning, Mr. Scale told me 200 point something, 200.2, something really low. Maybe like 200.0. So I'm doing the damn thing, eating my salads at night. Chips, I'm having chips and dip. Didn't have any sweets last night. So I'm definitely, if it ain't the black and miles, I'm definitely on to something. The black and miles may detract me from eating or habit eating or whatever. Still don't like the way they make me feel. If I gotta do something. If I gotta do something or I wanna do something, I don't like the way they make me feel. But if I just wanna hit one and go to that place where I can just sit down and just stare at a wall or look at a TV, it's okay. So I would never, I don't see myself ever doing it before work. That's the same way with weed. I'm like, I think once, you know, a few times I got high and went to work, no doubt. But it's almost like counterproductive. It's almost like counterproductive. Because it's like, why waste your high? You know? Or sometimes work is, you know, you get comfortable with work enough to do it and you get a nice little buzz, a teeny little buzz at work. That makes it fun. It's more than one time I've done that. You know, been at work in that environment high. It feels totally different, it feels weird. It's kind of cool. But for the most part, that'll give you something to look to after work. The work day done, worked out, get back on that discipline, walking during break, walking during lunch, getting that regimen, getting up, boom, 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 get back on that treadmill. I believe I'm ready. I believe I'm ready. I think my mother, she's gonna be in there for like a little shorter than a month or so. And then granddaughter and Kimberly coming out July 16th. I think my mother comes home July 14th. So it ain't even a month and costing $7,000. My sister on break, so she wanna have some time. And even that, I'm sure she's gonna be getting, my mother gonna be, not whining, but you can do this, you can do that. I need you here now. Like she woke up this morning, she started to get Tori. I shouldn't say names, but a friend of the family is staying there. Or my niece's sister staying there and helping out with the overnight stuff. You hear her calling her, and I thought it was me. He said, "You called me?" She said, "No." She said she wanted her. And she out there doing something early this morning, getting ready. Because, the sense of time and urgency in my mother, it's hard for her to calculate. What's being done, what's not being done. What she wants. What she wants, how she wants it. And who's gonna do it. A lot of that is already, my sisters take care of. And you can tell, my sister tell her, hey, we got you covered, we got you covered. My mother still wants to be, in on it, participate, maybe hands-on. She still wants to, make sure this is that. She used to take care of stuff for herself. So she really, wants to make sure that, things are done. So she called her downstairs, 8 o'clock in the morning. Have her doing stuff, getting ready, because she's excited about her, thing. And think, you just laying there. All you got is that. All you got is that. So you talking about stuff gets magnified. That's all you got to think about. So making sure you got lotion and hair stuff becomes a priority if that's basically the only thing you got to think about. Whereas, not that we would want to do it, but if we had to, we could just go out and get all new stuff or blah, 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 But it's just the idea of engaging and doing something, to help or to get this taken care of. I'm the same way. When I do it myself, I do all the stuff myself. Preparing, and organizing and managing. But with her, she can't do it herself. So somebody else has to do it. And she has the urgency. She thinks it's a severe thing, but the person who's doing it doesn't. And the person who's doing it sometimes don't even understand why they're doing it. So why? And then if you ask why, you don't do that. Number one, you probably have a tough time explaining it to you. Number two, she might feel like she shouldn't have to. I'm like, wait a minute. You can believe in, have all your thoughts to yourself if you want. But as soon as you involve me, I have a right to know why I'm doing this or what I'm doing it for. In her mind, it basically comes down, just do it because I told you. No. And I'm sure there's trained professionals who are third party, especially being third party, they probably handle it better than, mother, son, mother, daughter. Because no matter how you look at those roles, there's still gonna be those roles. You know, like my kids are always gonna be my kids. I don't care what kind of condition I'm in or how incapable I am. I'll be damned. I'll find a way to get up out of this bed and wring your neck. It's just something in me that won't allow my children, that triggers me. If the kids or even granddaughters sometimes will say something or make a move or a gesture that triggers me, and I'll be like, you know, not like a trigger jump all over or nothing, but to react like, hey, I don't think I like that. I don't think I like you talking to me in that tone or saying that. Like, a minor one was, she starts saying the word nope. Nope. You know, she don't mean nothing by it. So you say, granddaughter, that? She'll be like, nope. We told her we don't like her saying that. So we told her we don't like her saying that. And I can hear her grandmother working with her and her mother working with her, because she'll say no. She'll say it the right way. You know, don't get it. Her grandmother got her wanting to go, no ma'am, no sir, yes ma'am, no sir. My daughter ain't so up on that. And I quite frankly ain't either. But there's a way you can say no where that's implied. And she's, even at 3, she knows how, no. You know, without any attitude ain't the word, about any attitude or any edge on that no. Just a simple no. Very congenial, I guess. But anyway. So, you know, you're dealing with family dynamics, and the roles have changed. You know, cause she bring up in a minute, her taking care of me. You know, that's how we go at it. So I did it for you. And I said, and I'll do it for my kids. Maybe. You know, we kind of be joking, but she get it where I came from when we go at it. So we'll see. Today, we'll see. And she said she liked the facility before. She know people from there. We've actually even picked up caregivers to come to the house and help out from her being there, you know, talking to people, you know, because she's, you know, she still got personality. She got this and that. And she used to be a nurse. So she asserts that, you know, I did your job 30, 40 years ago. You know, blah, blah. She still got some of that in her. Like she knows, because her mind is still fairly cognitive and strong. You know, she'll put it together and say, what is that? You know, what medicine is that? What? You know, she wants to be involved in those things. Good luck to them people. Good luck to them people. And I would love to see how they handle her, you know, needing, maybe, quote unquote, maybe needing so much attention. There's got to be a hierarchy of attention, I guess, I'm sure. Different price levels of where, oh, this person got to be at this price level because they're going to need something every X amount of minutes. Or, oh, this person can basically take care of themselves. They just need somebody to check in on them once or twice a day. You know, so we'll see. Big day. And as I said, I get to go home. And I say get to go home. I love my house. I love my sanctuary. And I know it's only been 3 days. You see, I was in Ohio for 3.5 weeks or whatever. Came home for like a week, 7 days. I had pretty much 7 days to myself. Pretty much totally. And I just left for 3. And I'm dying. I'm joking, but I'm not. I'm joking, but I'm not joking. I'm ready. I'm ready to get home. I gotta get ready for work. It's a big deal, all right, people. You know, I got things I gotta do too. I gotta get ready. I have to call and get my password changed. Might do that Monday. I don't know what I'm gonna do. We'll figure out what I do. I was thinking about who's on what shift and what's the best time to call to get a cool person. Who would I want to talk to when I call? And not necessarily have the most impact, but that's a consideration. Who would I want to call to talk to? Probably change my password. Catch up on some of the, what's going on there, this and that. Yeah. So anyway, that's where we're at on this kind of overcast Friday. I don't know if you call this overcast. Would you call this overcast? Is that overcast? I don't know. I guess you could call it overcast, huh? I guess you could call it overcast. It's still gonna get up to the 80s though. This may burn off, and if not, it's still gonna get up to the 80s. But today I put on my t-shirt and my long sleeves and my jeans. You know, I like to be warm. I probably could have got away with walking in shorts, but I like to start off warm and be hot. You know, that's what I understand. Remember, I don't want to go through the whole warm-up jacket thing again. You know, I understand warm-up jackets. Till you get warm, you can take it off. I get it. Anyway, swinging on y'all 2 times. I was thinking, do I really gotta say, you know, essentials and stuff that I do? Do I? Because usually I watch stuff, and a lot of times I'm saying, what's the intro for? What is the purpose of the intro? You know, first when you make it something, you like to have an intro. It makes you feel like it's something real. You know, make it feel like it's a show, or, you know, it gives it a nice little border, a formality to it. But now, I should just cut it on and start talking. Because at the beginning I had one with music. And welcome to Jeffery TV and podcasting, you know, all that. I'm like, I don't need all that. And then I just started saying, hey, just start talking. And then I gradually started saying, you know, catching myself saying, hey, what's up? Jeffery TV, you know, saying all that. And even that, I'm starting to realize it's getting a bit monotonous because I watch my videos. I'm like, happy Tuesday, happy Wednesday, happy Thursday, happy Friday. What's the girl? This is Jeffery. You know, I try to mix it up, make it different, but it's still, you know, pretty much the same thing repetitive, where I should just be able to start talking about what I'm talking about. But the outro, now it's to the point to where I can't post the podcast unless I do the outro. In fact, I've come home and did an outro. If I'm out there walking and somehow I have to stop it, or I stop it for whatever reason and I don't do an outro, I'll come home and record the outro later. In fact, the other day, I posted the outro from an older video at the end of one I didn't finish. So I might be getting kind of hung up on that, and I may want to let that go. Because I shouldn't have to swing on y'all every time. When I know the shortest distance. coming to you 2 times and carry. Any percent of you. I just got lost on stage. I'm like, I don't know if y'all saw that, but I was literally imagining myself at a show. Somehow I got the mic, and I'm supposed to say, make my fun to people or something. I go, I take the square root and get boxed in every time. Then I got the mic, and I'm going. I look at Mr. Clinton. I go, because when I know the shortest distance to let him know what I'm singing and where I want to go, and then I imagine myself going back to Pedrosia and get him, look him in the eye and say, all right, this is where I want to go with this. And then I always went over to Tanisha and Brandy and backup singers to get to the point. To get them on point, whatever, anyway. That's what I be doing on these things. Now you gonna run me over this way? No matter where I go, you gonna run me over. All right. Swinging on y'all 2 times. For me, for the funk. And for every elementary particle that has ever existed in any atom in this or any universe that ever was, is, or will be. The totality of it all, theory of universe. Hypothesis of all as one. I know what happened. This outro, you just evolved to be too long. I kept adding pieces over the years. And it just evolved to be probably a little too long. That's all. My name is Jeffery.